The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. It's business as usual for Justice Secretary Boying Remulla, who was present at the flag ceremony at the DOJ today. Secretary Remulla said he is focused on work and is not considering resigning despite calls for his removal from office. In an interview with broadcaster Anthony Taberna, Remulla added that his conscience remains clean. The Justice Secretary has not been in touch with his son, who was arrested and is facing charges for possession of illegal drugs. President Marcos has appointed film director Paul Soriano as his advisor on creative communications. Soriano is the husband of actress Toni Gonzaga and will be taking his oath before the president today, according to Malacanang. The director had been instrumental in Marcos Jr.'s campaign. He was also among the candidates being tapped for the post of press secretary after the resignation of attorney Trixie Cruz Angeles. Soriano is also the nephew of First Lady Lisa Araneta Marcos. One group is calling on the Education Department to cut down on administrative tasks for teachers and to provide them with mental health breaks. Faith Del Mundo with the story.
COVID-19 has managed to disrupt everyone's way of life. One of its most obvious impact is on education, which relied on blended learning for the last 2 years. But even though the pandemic situation, it still left scars on some educators. Teacher Alvin and his family had been infected with COVID-19 at one point. And after COVID, he is now facing a different battle, that with mental health issues.
Nag-pandemic po, sobrang stress po ang dinala niya. Every time na sinusuot ko tong headphone ko, may naririnig akong echo, tapos bigla po ako nagpapanik, tapos after po no, nagkakaroon po ako ng acid reflux, tapos bigla pong bumagsak yung katawan ko.
Apart from the pandemic, heavy workload in school also added to his burden. The same goes for teacher Hannah. She has been a teacher for 2 decades, but now she admits feeling stressed and burnt out, especially after having to adjust from a work-from-home setup to again commuting for more than 4 hours to get to school. She also feels pressured whenever her students cannot pick up lessons easily.
Pinakasanayan mo, medyo babaguhin mo ulit, lalo na galing tayo sa 2 years na walang face-to-face. Tapos biglang ngayon may face-to-face. Tapos nakikita mo yung mga estudyante mo na non-reader.
The Education Department admits that teachers now have heavier workload since they also have non-teaching tasks. The DepEd said that it's looking at reducing administrative tasks for teachers. The agency also launched a campaign called #MentallyHealthyDepEd. But for the Teachers Dignity Coalition, DepEd should consider giving teachers a 1-week academic break.
Alam naman po natin na basically nagsisimula po yung mental health issues, no, quote and quote, no, kapag ka medyo meron tayong nabibigatan tayo, no, dun sa ating trabaho.
That mental health breaks are important for teachers to avoid burnout.
They have to do also self-care. Self-care doesn't mean na you are selfish, na ang pangangalagaan mo, sarili mo lang. Hindi. Kasi bilang isang teacher, marami pang hamon sa buhay na lahat ng klase ng magulang mararanasan nila at madidinig nila. And siguro dapat lang magkaroon sila ng hindi lang isang tabo ng pasensya, kundi bude-bodegang pasensya. Magkaroon ng mental awareness program din ang mga eskwelahan for the teachers. Kasi kung ngayon they are starting it with the employees.
For News 5, Faith Del Mundo, we are One News.
We're gonna pause for a quick break, but we will be back with more stories after that. Stay with us here on One News. Have expressed their concern over surprise visits from the police. Authorities have called off these visits, but they do insist that it was all done in good faith. Brian Castillo with the details.
Media personnel have started flagging unannounced visits from police. The initiative came after the killing of radio broadcaster Percy Lapid and after TV5 anchors Ed Lingao and Lord De Vera received threatening comments from a certain social media user. Among those visited by police is broadcaster David Oro. In a post, Oro detailed how two alleged policemen in civilian clothing on board an unmarked vehicle visited his residence in Quezon City. He was not able to personally talk with the cops, but his house helper said they were asking what time Oro will be home. The officers also did not give their names nor their contact numbers. The National Union of Journalists of the Philippines, or NUJP, has expressed concern over the surprise visits. In a statement, the group said the unannounced visits do not make journalists feel safer. They believe that it is also a violation of journalists' right to privacy.
In the first place, yun nga, walang pasabi, no? Tapos pangalawa, paano nila nalalaman yung address mo, no? So parang medyo nakakakaba talaga siya, no? Hindi naman sa ungrateful tayo for the police support, no, or for the police attention to our issues. Mas ano lang talaga, I think kailangan na ng better coordination between the media community and yung security forces.
NCRPO Acting Regional Director Police Brigadier General Jonel Sesh, the NCRPO has called off the initiative. The NCRPO also apologized to media men who may have surprise visits. An investigation is now underway to determine if there is any breach in protocol. In a separate statement, the Eastern Police District said the visits are done in good faith. They added that it is not their intent to invade the privacy of journalists and to intimidate them. According to them, they are just doing their duty to protect the public. For News 5, Brian Castillo, we are One News.
Market observers and retail investors believe that the U.S. Federal Reserve is the most capable in cooling down inflation among all other central banks. The details in this report from Bloomberg.
In the Fed, investors trust, even as its campaign to raise interest rates causes turmoil in the stock, bond, currency, and commodity markets, and increases the odds of a global recession. Bloomberg polled a group of professional and retail investors, asking them which central bank will succeed in cooling inflation and getting the cost of living under control. The U.S. won handedly. That may be because the rest of the world faces additional pressures. For the UK and Europe, it's an energy shortage sparked by war in Ukraine, while China is still pursuing its COVID-0 policy. In other words, the U.S. is the cleanest dirty shirt in the global laundry basket. So it follows that survey respondents also overwhelmingly picked the U.S. economy as the relative winner, seen emerging from the global turmoil first, along with U.S. stocks and bonds. Now, looking ahead, one unspoken downside risk in a recovery is a potential widening in inequality.
Today's other top stories. The NDRRMC reports that nearly 28,000 people, or 7,500 families in 3 regions, were affected by Typhoon Neneng. As of Monday morning, over 700 individuals still remain in evacuation centers. The Education Department has allowed private schools to continue implementing blended learning beyond November. On the flip side, full face-to-face classes will push through next month in all public schools except in disaster-hit areas. And oil firms have announced another price hike for fuel products effective Tuesday, October 18. Gasoline prices will go up by 80 centavos a liter, while diesel will be more expensive by 2 pesos and 70 centavos a liter. For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News Live anytime, anywhere. I am Sean Yao. We are One News.